Ladies and gentlemen, good evening to everyone, or hello. I will welcome to this new dedicated geopolitical conference to world news. In the headlines of international news, Russia makes its spectacular entrance and stunning in the conflict in Veneto. Russia enters on the same level between Venezuela and the United States of America. It must be said that it is a real provocation to which Russia has just surrendered. Russia has just severely provoked the United States of America. Yes, if China came a little more peacefully to the Venezuela through contracts on the economic plan linked to the exploitation of the Venezuelan oil and others minerals, Russia, she comes militarily. On this October 8, 2025, Venezuelan President Maduro has announcement the signing of a partnership agreement military strategic. Absolute with the Russia, yes. And it's a first since the end of the Cold War. Russia therefore enters militarily, and it is not on the economic plan. So what is the content of this partnership? What are the consequences, repercussions on the struggle that America is going through recently led against Venezuela? In as a reminder for all those who have not followed this news and who do not follow. America accuses the regime Venezuelan to be a regime drug trafficker. Every week that passes, Donald Trump announces having ordered to bomb a ship Venezuelan since they are ships drug cartels. This is the official argument that is used. But deep down, America wants to have total control of Vene because of the immense riches of the Venezuelan soil and subsoil. Because that Venezuela is very rich in oil, I believe, on a global scale. Venezuela's reserves are incomparable. And so the Venezuelan president who feels weakened and who has gone through all the means to seek to counter American influence, provocation, therefore found it right to move towards the challenging bloc's Washington. This is how the old partnership which exists between Venezuela and the Russia that was not yet institutionalized that started. It is a long-standing partnership that began under Hugo Chávez's era. Nicolas Maduro has decided to institutionalize and make this more concrete partnership on the plan military. And so ladies, young ladies and gentlemen, in the context of this geopolitical conference, of course, of this hot and burning news that we are going to talk about. But as you know, to enable securing the video conference, you have to click on the like buttons, click on the comment button, leave a comment. If you don't have an opinion specific, you just put a comment, hello samurai, and then share the video conference around you in all groups. So if you are new too, if this is your first time to come across my conference, you have to click on the subscribe button or on the button follow. This allows you to no longer miss my video conferences. So let's go into the depths, ladies, young ladies and gentlemen. And so what needs to be said is that Venezuela opens its doors to the Russian military power to help it face America. Very disturbing. This is a historic strategic agreement which has just been signed in Caracas. President Nicolas Maduro signed a strategic partnership agreement with the Russian Federation authorizing the deployment of advisors military. So the agreement provides for the deployment military advisors in Venezuela, which means Putin will send military personnel in Venezuela as military advisor. But be careful. This means that these people will be military advisors in case America is doing pampas. They are going to act. It's clear. So deployment of military advisors, as if that wasn't enough. In the content of the strategic agreement, there has the deployment of weapons. Russia will arm Venezuela. It's Iran which had begun to arm the Venezuela. Now Russia enters in the dance. In addition to sending military advisors, Russia will arm the Venezuela. Also, the contract, I was going to say, the agreement provides for the deployment of defense system. The deployment of defense systems. So, ground defense system, this which means that these are the S-400 and others. While many have said that obviously Russia no longer had a system of defense, but Russia is in the process of distribute to countries in need to face to counter the influence American. So we must say that it is a one consolidated alliance. As I recalled in the introductory phase of the conference, there was already an old military cooperation which existed between Moscow and Caracas under Hugo Chávez's era. But this time, the agreement was institutionalized and is now extended to training and training maintenance and armament. The military advisors have officially for the role of coming to train the Venezuelan army. Russia receives contract maintenance of everything that is Venezuelan military equipment, but at this adds the fact of arming the Venezuela since Venezuela has some really need. And so the signature was made in the midst of global tension. So it is a gesture that places the Vene in the camp of the defying powers the West, which risks making the situation worse. It is true that the signing of this contract has a deterrent effect on Washington. Washington wonders Washington is under attack from all sides. Russia joins the dance in Iran. Russia joins the dance in Afghanistan. Russia enters the dance in Venezuela. So the concrete content of the partnership there upon delivery of heavy equipment, anti-aircraft defense systems, Russian, probably the S-300 and Pentia S-1, as well as tactical drones and light armored vehicles, should be deployed in Venezuela in the coming months. So the presence of Russian instructors and military advisors, they will be military advisors, permanent ones who will be there permanently. So they will be there to accompany the Venezuelan armed forces, to modernize their structure, to train their officers and integrate them Russian doctrines. Yes, put them in Russian doctrine. So it's an expanded partnership since beyond even the military aspect, the agreement provides for cooperation, technological, a cooperation, energy and space. What consolidates a crumbling Moscow axis? That is to say, they reinforced everything. Everything is reinforced. Moscow can no longer to leave Venezuela, which means that Moscow already has interests on the side from Venezuela. From Venezuela, I was going to say, wherever it is necessary, build nuclear power plants here, intervene in the field of energy and everything that goes away. They are now like this. Even the agreement which connects Venezuela with China had not reached such a degree. And so the repercussions are that it is a shock for Washington. We will see Washington's reaction, what Washington said after the signing of this agreement. And so ladies and gentlemen, that was it. Obviously, the headlines international. Please share it with Maximum. I'll get back to you later. By the grace of God the Almighty, with new information, new conferences. It was the voice from your humble servant, the Samurai.